Yeah, it's a lot going on right now. A lot of things going on in the boxing game. We getting close to that Canelo fight with Terence Crawford. Yeah, we close to that fight. It's gonna be a lot of moves made over the next couple of weeks. But I wanted to talk about something real quick about this talk around Terence Crawford leading up to this fight. And I had to put this little message up there that Terence Crawford said almost 2 years ago. Because a lot of people they got the conclusion right now that yeah, man, Tom and Jerry fights and Terence Crawford he ain't gonna go out there and fight. First of all, ain't nobody on PVC went out there and did nothing to Canelo that had him in any kind of danger. Yeah, if you just think back, a lot of these guys that Canelo was running through from the zone and PVC, they didn't put up a challenge until Bivol came along and Triple G. So yeah, a lot of people are used to domination from Canelo in a lot of fights. But I would just say in this situation, they forget because leading up to that fight with Charlo and Terence Crawford, there was a lot of respect being put on Charlo's name. Now, what I'm confused about is the guys who were giving Charlo his credit or giving him a chance in that fight. Because there was a lot of guys that was giving Charlo a chance in that Canelo fight. I want everybody to know that. If you don't learn nothing else today, it's a lot of people. I'm noticing people right now who gave Charlo a chance, but they ain't giving Crawford a chance. That's something that everybody ain't talking about. I'm gonna go through everything in the next couple of weeks. We got a lot of fans right now who gave Charlo a very good chance of beating Canelo, didn't think twice about it. But now when Terence Crawford comes around, they're questioning his boxing ability and everything else. And I want to talk about that today because most of the people that's doing all this PED talk, they was all Charlo'd out. Then when he lost, they went away quietly. Matter of fact, ain't even asked this man to jump back in the ring yet. Fake fan didn't even ask this man to jump in the ring yet. Could have said right then, nah, man, you might as well have Crawford fight Canelo. Yeah, let's see what he can do. Nothing. And went away quietly. Yeah, people forget. Do people forget what Crawford said? He the one who had to call out Charlo. Nobody else wanted to. You know that's everybody else homeboy. So people forget, but Crawford was the only one that called him out because everybody else is homeboy. He said, "Hey, okay, y'all, I'm over Charlo. He's no longer on my hit list." He out there. He went out there and laid down and let Canelo spank him like he was his daddy with no type of resistance. I bet you ain't nobody gonna bring this up. I bet you they ain't gonna talk about this. I bet you they ain't gonna compare that. Just cause Charlo went out there and laid down the way he did, that don't mean Terence Crawford gonna do it. I'm pretty sure he'll get knocked out before he go out there and lay down. Two different kind of guys. That's why the fight should have happened a long time ago. These non-believers would have had more belief going into the fight. But yeah, he's not no Terence Crawford ain't no Charlo. It ain't finna be that type of fight. Not gonna happen. But my thing is, what I'm disappointed about is, when are these guys gonna come around and give the man a chance? Yeah, that's what things going left for me at. So they giving Charlo a chance, but not Terence Crawford. I'm telling you, during the whole build up, you didn't really hear none of this stuff that you're hearing right now. None of this stuff. I was hearing the knockout stuff with Canelo, but he ain't knocking nobody out right now, as far as I know. So yeah, man, it's a lot of respect being given outside of Terence Crawford, and it's starting to get exposed for real. And I'm gonna be the one to expose it right now, because I'm gonna tell you right now, everybody who got some, I'm telling you right now, every person who has something disrespectful to say, whether they could be a Canelo fan or whoever, when Charlo had his chance to fight Terence Crawford, I seen everybody starting to put respect on his name. Oh, he undisputed though. I even seen Canelo fans. Oh, well, he's undisputed. That's why Canelo's fighting him, because he's undisputed. But he jumping two weight classes. They had no problem with Charlo jumping two weight classes. They have more criticism for Terence Crawford jumping two weight classes. Acting like they don't believe. They just don't want to believe. It ain't that they don't believe nothing. Yeah, they got away with one on that one. I'm gonna tell you that straight up. They got away with one on that one. They definitely got away with one on that one, boy. Talking about getting your check and going home. Why Charlo ain't get all this when he fought when he was about to fight Canelo? That's the only thing I'm looking at. I'm like, bro, I ain't really get all this when it was time to go. Yeah, but I see the play though. I definitely see it. Canelo gonna be in for a surprise, man. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. I seen something recently. I wasn't gonna talk about it. I'm not even gonna put it out there because he gonna this for sure gonna let me know that he gonna have hands put all over him, bro. I seen him fight recently. This dude fighting the same way. He ain't even fighting boxers. The style he's fought, he hasn't fought many styles like Bivol. I don't know if everybody knows this. A lot of guys Canelo fight, they rely on power and everything else. Ain't no dudes going there, like I said before, going there outboxing him. So the fact that people expected Munguia or Berlanga to go in there and outbox him, yeah, okay. He was hoping that he'll get stopped by them, but outbox, no. Overpower, yeah, maybe. But when we talking about boxing, because all I'm hearing right now is, oh, can he take a punch or can he land one? Uh, Shoot, if Canelo could take a punch, he would have been walking through Bivol shots. What's wrong with that? That's the thing that I'm hearing. If Canelo could take a shot, he would have been walking through Bivol shots. He wouldn't have been on the ropes. I don't want to bring up the fight that I seen recently with him, but I'll talk about one similar. Let's talk about Charlo fight. What did Canelo do spectacular in the Charlo fight? Because I'm gonna go back and watch that again when I get off of here. But are they comparing Terence Crawford and Canelo to Charlo fight? I don't know. I don't know what fight they're expecting because if Canelo's in the ring with Terence Crawford, I expect fireworks. Usually when he going against a style like that, it's an exciting fight. I mean, they made a big deal about Canelo fighting Bivol. That wasn't no. That's why people got these super high fake expectations. Like, man, Canelo ain't got no action packed fights to where it's um you just run them back on replay over and over. Like all the kids pulling up and watching it. Oh man, that was a classic fight. No, that ain't happening. If he does have some classic fights, let me know. I'm talking about classic. Because when Wilder fought Fury, that's when everybody was like, whoa. When he fought Golovkin, people was like, oh man, we don't know who won. Dudes when he man, please. Ain't nobody checking for them fights. Real fights. People made a bigger deal about Charlo versus Canelo. That's when I knew, oh man, this man ain't resume ain't like that. They was like, man, he just beat Charlo. So that win was almost bigger than the Caleb Plant win in them. And it was a 54. And they sitting around, but you got people running around here talking about some, oh, I don't think Canelo would get credit for beating Terence Crawford because he's small anyways. But he got credit for beating Jermell Charlo. He got so much credit for beating Jermell Charlo that the next two fights, everybody said, oh, what's wrong with him fighting Munguia and Berlanga? So the Charlo fight must have been good to somebody. Because if you see Canelo hop in the ring with Charlo from 54, then you say, hey, you know what? I'm cool with him fighting Munguia and Berlanga. I want to see that. And did anybody see the Charlo fight? Because believe it or not, it's still one of the most watched fights that Canelo has right now, currently. One of the most watched fights. And people say, well, Charlo, he ran during the fight. He didn't really fight back. It's still one of the most watched fights. It's even replayed a lot. Matter of fact, since I'm sitting here, let me go investigate real quick. Let me see how many numbers they got on the highlights. They got the full fight on here for Charlo, 4.8 million views. Okay, let's go to another Canelo fight. Canelo versus somebody full fight. We're talking about on the official Plant 7. That was 2 years ago. And Munguia fight just came out last year. Munguia fight at 8.3. Skull already at 1. Berlanga at 5. And this is the sad part too. You got Berlanga at 5. You got Berlanga and Munguia fights almost got more views than the Mayweather fight. Sad. And they talking about they want to see real fights. Man, stop it. They better take this Terence Crawford fight like they supposed to. These dudes out here these dudes these dudes out here watching. They out here watching Munguia versus Munguia and Berlanga versus Canelo 13 million times already. Yeah, that's a problem. I ain't gonna lie. That's out of hand right there. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, they lucky that Canelo Crawford fighting Canelo right now. It ain't no telling who he'll be fighting right now. There's definitely no telling. But yeah, people talking like this gonna be a rematch to Charlo versus Canelo or something. Like, man, cut it out, man. Canelo the one who got to show up. He ain't been looking his best. When the last time Canelo has looked his best? He hasn't looked his best in a while. Matter of fact, let me look at this coffee box with him and Charlo while I'm sitting right here. Canelo hasn't been looking his best. Man, I can already look at the coffee box, man. The man played it safe in the Charlo fight. I'm just keeping a butt with y'all. It looked like Canelo played it safe, bro. They talking about Charlo, but then he almost landed the same amount of punches as him. Scary boxing. And look, Charlo throwing almost the same amount of punches as Canelo. Yeah, man. Canelo, and that's what I said too. Canelo was doing a lot of scary boxing in there too, though. They don't want to tell you that though. They was like, oh man, Charlo ain't what? Charlo ain't run. He ain't doing William Skull. Get him up out of there. What's the problem? Charlo threw 398 punches and only landed 71. Yeah, Canelo just couldn't get him up out of there. That's all it is to it. But yeah, Canelo wasn't really going all out like that. I just seen his recent numbers for the Berlanga fight. This man was letting his hands go. Man, they got bro. Look at Canelo versus against Golovkin. Against Golovkin, he threw 500 punches against Golovkin. They say Golovkin the best fighter he fought. He threw 500 punches against Golovkin. He get in front of Charlo, and Charlo ain't moving like that. If you play Charlo versus Canelo and Golovkin versus Canelo next to each other, they moving around more than he is. Yeah, he only threw 385 punches, and Charlo he threw more punches than Canelo. So yeah, he should have did better. They're not gonna tell you that because they want to be like, oh, well, the responsibility goes on Charlo if Canelo looked bad. Nah, he didn't look good in that fight. I wasn't impressed, and I knew he wasn't gonna get Charlo up out of there. That's when the story came out then because Canelo ain't get the knockout. Oh, that's because Charlo was running around that time. Yeah, y'all should just put Charlo in the ring with Terence Crawford. See, man, Terence Crawford, he need to go ahead and just finish the job, man. I hope he get a stoppage, knockout in this fight coming up. Because every time he got a chance to fight somebody to prove himself, they always getting somebody else and giving it to the next guy. This time it ain't gonna change. This time it ain't happening. What's up, Native Wild man? What's going on? Just chilling, man. I ain't doing too much. We're just popping up on this live real quick. I seen you was out the other day. I missed you on your live though. I think you came on like 6 or 7 or something like that. Yeah, shout out to Nate Wild man. But yeah, Canelo was throwing more punches against Golovkin than he did Charlo. Let me see something. Uh yeah, that coffee bar tell a different story though, man. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That coffee box tells a different story. Um, yeah, it was a lot of punches thrown. That's why even when yeah, it depends on what kind of fight you actually making up for. But even Crawford, his last fight with what's that guy's name, Majamal, he threw 433 punches in that fight, and the Majamal guy only threw 275. But they'll tell you that Terence Crawford was born though. Oh yeah, that's what's up, man. It's starting to get cooler now too. It ain't that hot no more. Temperature's starting to go down. I bet in this Canelo versus Crawford fight, I can guarantee Crawford gonna throw more punches than Canelo. So I don't know where this whole Tom and Jerry narrative is even coming from. Oh yeah, you was on there. Yeah, I had seen you when I got off. I was like, man, I didn't even know you was on there. Yeah, I tried to get a notification, but I had re-clicked it. It should pop up next time. But yeah, he's gonna. I bet he goes out there and throws more punches than Canelo. It's definitely gonna happen. But yeah, people starting to come around now because they know it's almost time for Canelo to show up. It's almost that time for Canelo to show up now. It's gonna be a lot of pressure for him too. You know, you find a real boxer. That's definitely something we can agree on. But for people to overlook him, I ain't see people overlook Charlo going into the fight. That's crazy. That needs to be called out and talked about. That needs to be investigated. Some of this stuff needs to be investigated in boxing. Why did Charlo get more respect put on his name before? I'm talking about from the fans because I know everybody out here now is kicking Crawford all of a sudden as far as the experts. But I'm talking about from the fans. Why did Charlo get more respect put on his name than what Terence Crawford is getting? Because man, I heard a lot of I ain't hear all this stuff I'm hearing now. And the reason why Terence Crawford got to do this because Charlo ain't finished the job. Canelo Crawford wouldn't even be fighting this dude if Charlo would have beat Canelo. Then you got people walking around here, yeah, man, he worked with Snack. He worked with, man, who cares? All this stuff y'all talking about. That's too late now. I heard boxers talking about that 5 years ago. Dudes was like, man, I don't want to hear about that. Man, please. Dudes be looking crazy, thinking they be on to something. Talking about something old. That's like talking about The Wire. When dudes be talking about The Wire. Now, y'all seen The Wire? Yeah, like 50 years ago. Yeah. But man, it was a lot of respect being put on Charlo's name before that fight. And that's crazy. I'm gonna tell you how crazy it is. So the judges gave Charlo 2 rounds. They gave him the ninth round and they gave him the fifth round. Man, the fans ain't give him no rounds. And he got all kind of respect going into the fight. But you got people on there like, man, Crawford might not be able to take a punch. Man, you don't be quiet, bro. Be quiet, bro. Anybody who say that, bro, I'm telling you right now, even going into the fight, anybody who say that, they don't know what they're talking about as far as the fight. They ain't got nothing else to say about the fight. That's it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. You just seen all these other dudes that Canelo got in the ring with not get knocked out at all. Didn't get buzzed or nothing. Dudes was getting hit, jumping straight, right back up. And looked better after they got knocked down. Nah, that ain't. Come on, man. We gotta realize dudes been fighting scared, man. We got boxers that been saying dudes been fighting scared. Yeah, they know what time it is. But to have all these guys that have jumped in the ring with Canelo, now all of a sudden, we get to fight number what? What fight is this? 65? No, this 68. So this is gonna be Canelo's 68 fight. We get to fight number 68, then all of a sudden, well, the 68 guy, he better do this and do that. Man, y'all had plenty of opportunity to pick guys to do that. I've been hearing lately they ain't care. Yeah, they care when they fighter. Yeah, I see what's going on now. They care about the performance now. Man, the man ain't even jumped in the ring yet. Let me tell you something. Crawford ain't even jumped in the ring with Canelo yet. And he get more criticism than what these other guys got when they jumped in the ring with him. That's why some people say these guys be hating. Yeah, these dudes fanned out, man, for real. Ain't no way. That's why I said, man, Crawford not fighting Charlo, that was one of the biggest misses in boxing. I mean, that was a guy who just fought Canelo. This man ain't fought since Canelo. They were trying to make sure ain't nobody getting prepared for a Canelo fight. Like, man, y'all gotta find somebody. I ain't never seen so many dudes not want to fight Crawford in my life. Fight could have been happened. Yeah, he got to throw a lot of punches. But yeah, it's just a narrative going around that oh, what's up, Petey? What's going on, dog? It's a narrative going around that uh Terence Crawford better do this and that. Man, these people ain't. They don't know how this man boxes. To be honest with you, if you got to say that, I mean, Canelo's the one who really needs to. His legacy is on the line. If he go out there and get his butt whooped, his legacy is cooked. It ain't gonna be over, but the way people hyping him up before this fight, he better show up. They talking like this dude is like he unstoppable. Like, why is Terence Crawford getting in the ring with him? People better chill on that. They acting like Terence Crawford is leftovers. Like, yeah, he should be glad to get in the ring with Canelo. Nah, that ain't. From what I seen from Canelo lately, bro, he ain't been knocking nobody out. Nobody. Dudes been going out there laying down, laying straight down. They know what time it is. Canelo could have been seen Terence Crawford if he wanted to. Didn't even say the man name. Terence Crawford was never on Canelo's radar. People try to make it seem like Terence Crawford was always hawking Canelo. He wasn't begging for no fight. But he's in the driver's seat, though. I'll say that. Oh, okay. So let's just say this. So yeah, Terence Crawford could have fought Canelo, man. Let's be real. Those guys could have fought a while ago. Like what PD said yesterday about the American situation. Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on in boxing these days with the whole Canelo love fest, but uh, Canelo ain't undefeated. He got losses. Let's treat let's treat a guy with losses like he got losses. That's all I'm asking. If he ain't got no losses, if we gonna treat him like he undefeated, just write a zero at the end of his record. Then still got draws and everything. If Canelo undefeated, man, just go ahead and just write some zeros at the end of his record. There's no reason to be you know what I'm saying? Because from what I've seen, Canelo should have been fighting guys like Crawford. Like, bro, you couldn't get Charlo up out of there? Nah. Like that's where I'm at with it. Like if we gonna start criticizing somebody, redhead man he ain't knocking nobody out. Like where his power at? I'm about to start asking where his power at. I'm about to start asking where his power at. I can pull up some stats. This man's like Canelo's knockout rate since he been fighting in America is horrible. It's like 40% or something like that. He ain't cracking like that. He ain't cracking like that. His knockout rate in uh in America is the equivalent of a bench player in the major leagues. Even if you let me just tell you something. Even if you look at Canelo's resume, right, as a fighter, I'm gonna just go through some names real quick. Even when you look at Canelo's resume, William Skull, Berlanga, Munguia, Charlo, Jermell Charlo, John Ryder, Golovkin, uh, Bivol, Plant, Saunders, Yildirim, Callum Smith, Kovalev. Then you got Jacobs. Just all these guys. You know, Mirkan, Kodo. You got Lara. You know, all these guys. It's not easy for other boxers to get their hands on these guys that he's fighting. Most of these guys that Canelo has stepped in the ring with, other people haven't even fought yet. Most people haven't even fought the guys he's fought. So you got a whole bunch of people walking around now like, yeah, this dude, he a beast. He ain't fought nobody. So the guys Canelo been fighting ain't fighting nobody. And I said that. I said that. While everybody talking about who Crawford fought and the guys Canelo fought, they ain't fighting nobody. They ain't doing nothing. You seen any of these guys running around Riyadh season? They ain't fighting nobody. Nobody. Look at his resume. Munguia got knocked out by 160. Berlanga knocked out by 160. That's that's not good. That's a bad sign. Canelo might go out here and sleep this dude. I mean, Crawford. He might go out here and sleep this dude. I'm telling you. I'm letting you know that right now. He might go out here and sleep this dude. Because if you going toe to toe with somebody who just got put to sleep, you might get put to sleep. Matter of fact, you went toe to toe with two guys who just got put to sleep. Everybody's not gonna tell you that. Canelo just went toe to toe last year in title fights. He went life and death with two guys who just got knocked out badly. Matter of fact, Munguia he had the worst knockout last year, and Berlanga had the worst knockout this year. Nobody got knocked out worse than Berlanga. Well, the Jin Suzuki, but I'm gonna tell you why the Berlanga knockout was bad. Because, bro, he was clapping on the ground, his gloves, and then, bro, I'm talking about that was horrible. I know the Jin Suzuki knockout was horrible. He was asleep though. Berlanga was still awake, and all this was going on. That was horrible. Like that was bad. Like we're talking about people saying he's done. That's how bad it was. And Munguia got dropped in Mexico last year badly. So Canelo he fought two guys who ain't got chins like that. Why is Canelo going life and death with guys who don't got chins? They're not asking this question. That's why the PED stuff is being talked about right now. Because they don't want to question why somebody ain't got a chin. These dudes have both got knocked out by 160s. And nobody running around asking why Canelo can knock out two guys who ain't got chins. That's not a good look. It's not a good look. But Canelo would get up here and tell y'all, oh, Crawford ain't fought nobody. Crawford ain't fought who? Berlanga and Munguia? So what? You fought Berlanga and Munguia, so what? And what? Matter of fact, that makes your resume look worse. That's what you get for trying to be greedy. Canelo fighting Berlanga and Munguia actually hurt his resume. Yeah. Being greedy in boxing messes up your resume. It does. Now everybody finna pass. Well, I ain't gonna say all that. I ain't gonna go that far. But y'all know I was finna go. Look at the resume. It look like they got everybody at high, and so they could be like, well, we don't want Canelo's resume to get destroyed, so let's make sure we protect these guys. Because there ain't a lot of movement going around with these guys on his resume. Charlo out 2 years for what? So we ain't got to see what he really about. He had the strongest weight class in boxing. 154 has to be the deepest weight class in boxing. We just had Boots Ennis move up. Boxing could have had Terence Crawford fighting all these guys at 54 the last 3 or 4 years. But they trying to build something up. So yeah, Terence Crawford needs to finish the job so we can have some new style of boxing going on. The way boxing going on right now, this old fashioned hick stuff that's going on, this 1930 boxing that's going on right now, we need to move away from this. They're trying to build superstars and stars like Canelo. Canelo is a built star, bro. I'm just gonna be real with y'all. I don't want to disrespect the man for the fight come up, but he's man-made. Man-made. If he was gonna go 12 rounds with Charlo, he should have stayed at 154. Anybody disagree with that? Hey, let me know, because that's a fact. He could have stayed at 154 if he's gonna go 12 rounds with Charlo. Then he's saying, well, I knocked out this one guy at 175. I mean, okay. You knocked out this one guy at 175. All right. But then you went 12 rounds with 154 Charlo. Who cares, bro? Like, what power are people talking about? Yeah, exactly. You're going to destroy your own. Canelo has destroyed his own resume. That's why all the guys in Mexico looking at him like, man, what are you doing? Do y'all know that a lot of these guys, when they hang it up, 2 or 3 years after they hang it up, somebody gonna have a better resume than them? Because it's gonna be one boxer that say, hey, I want to fight everybody. That's why it's funny when people be like, man, Tim Tszyu done, man. Kambosa's done. Probably, I don't know. But their resumes is still better than the guys who's not fighting right now. If you're saying that Tim Tszyu and Kambosa is done, but your favorite fighters have none of those big names they got on their resume, well, it's probably a reason why they're done. And the other fighter is not done. Because he's not trying to fight those tough fights. So, yeah, it's a reason why you think some guys are done. Some people run to the smoke, everybody else run from it. Everybody ain't trying to be no firefighter. He said, as is fair to say, he was great years ago and a good showman left for fighting Cherry Pitts. Bit unfair consider he won every round against Jermell Charlo. Yeah. You said a bit unfair, consider he won every round against Jermell Charlo at 160. BM, shout out to BM. What's going on? I mean, yeah, you can say that. But my question is, he's getting credit for the Charlo fight? Oh, okay. I didn't know that, BM. That's news flash to me. I didn't know. So Canelo got credit for the Charlo fight. Is it a lot of people giving Canelo credit for the Charlo fight? Because that's kind of what I was asking on here. I ain't know. I'm kind of trying to figure it out. It feel like it's a lot of people giving credit. Yeah, Kambosa's got a better resume than Tank right now. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that Hitchens fight did not help. People will say he lost. He got in there. That's the hardest part of the job right now. Yeah, that's crazy, Peter. He getting credit for that. People like, yeah, Canelo fought. And this is why boxing is going in a different direction. I don't want to hear anything about no Dana White. Deuce is out here giving. That's why right now, when people bring up Turkey out of sheet or Dana White, I don't want to hear none of it. Because right now, Deuce is giving Jermell Charlo credit for fighting Canelo from 154 to 68. And they giving Canelo credit on both sides. But Crawford, I don't know, man. I don't know if he's going to be able to do better than Charlo. That word fanboy get used way too much too. Cause that's fanboy talk right there. So y'all really think Terence Crawford is worse than Jermell Charlo? This is why dudes need to fight. Man, these dudes, I'm telling y'all, these dudes better have some good resumes when they hang it up, bro. Say what you want. Virgil Ortiz is on a lot of these guys' heels right now. If he fight Keith Thurman, hey, these dudes better have some good resumes when they hang it up. All that I fought Canelo stuff and went 12 rounds, they better have some good resumes when they hang it up. Because a lot of people weren't even supposed to get a Canelo fight at all. Then they finna have dudes like Fedor and all these other guys doing the hard work. Baccaram, they want all these guys. They wanted Crawford to fight all those guys. And that's weak to me. They was finna have Crawford. They was finna have Crawford fight Majramov again. People was talking about we need a rematch. Then they wanted the Virgil Ortiz fight next. They wanted him to fight Baccaram after Baccaram fought Tim Tszyu. Then they wanted the Fundora fight. They wanted the Earl Spence rematch. And then Canelo just sitting back. Nobody asked him to do anything. No responsibility in boxing. No accountability. Terence Crawford, Canelo just sitting back. Ain't no responsibility. Oh, you fought Charlo, so you good. This dude got credit for that fight. What? Man, get out of here. Oh, they mad because I said Dana and Turkey. Bro, I don't care. I don't care, bro. When it comes to how a fan feel about a promoter, I don't care about none of that, bro. You know how many platforms these fans have destroyed behind all this narrative talk? Bro, I don't care, bro. We barely got boxing right now still around right now. It's not a game right now. Boxing is almost a done sport before Turkey came around. It was almost to the point where it was done. It was to that point. Dudes talking about they ain't have enough money to put fights together. Yeah, it was almost done. 2 years ago, they was talking about they didn't have enough money to put together Earl Spence and Terence Crawford. What are we talking about? And we had Canelo getting all the big fights. What are we talking about? Do people forget all this stuff? Do they forget how we got here? The person who's anti all that, Terence Crawford, is getting the backlash. Somebody who's anti all corporate elitism, for some reason, he's the guy that gets the backlash. Everybody else, they want to be. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand. You said Canelo is the money fight. When you say Canelo is the money fight, no disrespect, but I'm gonna tell you this right here. Canelo came into boxing after Floyd Mayweather. BM, okay? I understand what you're saying, but Canelo came into boxing after Floyd Mayweather. He will never be the money fight. McGregor makes more money in a night for Vegas than the Canelo does. How is he a money fight and treated like that? McGregor gets more money than him. Do you see UFC running around like, man, McGregor, he make us so much money? They moved on. But the man makes all kind of fights though. Jake Paul make money fights. That's how we got there. Jake Paul make money fights. Yeah, they thought I was gonna come on here and say some fake. This some real right here. We talking about the real that's going on right now, boxing. The narratives that's going on is cool. All those going away now. Yeah, Canelo. That's why the Terence Crawford fight is hard because Terence Crawford has the abilities that Floyd has. He can do most things that he can do. As far as the defense and everything, I know it's different, but getting guys out of there, he definitely got that down. No, he hasn't been poorly promoted. We went over this yesterday. BM, shout out to BM too. He hasn't been. You said no clue on UFC. No, it's not a clue about UFC. It's about who's more popular, Conor McGregor or Canelo. It's no question. Whoever, if you see Conor McGregor walking down the street, females are going to know who Conor McGregor is. Any girl, black, white, whatever she is. It could be an Amish girl walking down the street seeing Canelo. Most females are not gonna know who he is. You can ask your mom right now in the kitchen. She's not gonna know who he is. She was like, that boxer guy, you know. Ask him what his real name is. They ain't gonna know who he is. Not Canelo. What's his first name? Well, I don't know who that is. But nah, Canelo has been in the way. Canelo has been in the way. When Terence Crawford said, "Hey, I want to fight Charlo. Charlo, come on, let's fight." Charlo jumped in the ring with Canelo. So Canelo has always been in the way. Why is Canelo fighting the same type of guys that Crawford could be fighting? That's my question in boxing. And why hasn't that been looked at? Imagine if Terence Crawford was at 47 fighting the same type of guys that Devin Haney fighting. Everybody be like, why is Terence Crawford fighting the same guys that Devin Haney just fought at 135? But Canelo is fighting at 168. The same type of guys that Fedor and everybody else is supposed to be fighting at 154. And Tim Tszyu. And Terence Crawford last year when he moved to 54. That's my only thing. If that would have been called out, yeah, we wouldn't have to worry about no promotion or anything else. It's been the fact that people have made excuses of, well, you know, Crawford just don't want to fight nobody, so that's why Charlo's fighting Canelo, and you know, not that Charlo want a payday. I ain't heard nobody say he want a payday, and he wants a payday. I ain't heard nobody say he want a payday. Matter of fact, Benavidez even said he ain't want no payday. He said, "Give me the least amount of money you can give me to fight Canelo." He said it on record. I don't want to pay that from Canelo. Give me the minimum, and I'll fight him. So everybody else that's fighting Canelo getting a payday. Terence Crawford just made 154 more popular than Jermell Charlo did the whole time he was at 54. Just in one fight. He deserves a payday. If you just made a whole division popular that Jermell Charlo was just undisputed in. This man was just undisputed at 54. And most of the people in there, he ain't fight. Currently, right now. That ain't Terence Crawford's responsibility to be fighting 54s and then turn around and people say he ain't good enough for 68. Yeah, we need this stuff out of boxing. We need this is why Canelo needs to lose. It's not about personal feelings. It's about going against the system. And the system right now is creating superstars. They can keep that in WWE. This is boxing. And I give Canelo his I give him his credit as far as getting in the ring, but to be honest with you, he was gonna get left behind regardless. He was gonna be left behind regardless. Because people when they was watching his fights, but they weren't talking about his future plans or anything else. You even had people saying that they didn't want to see Crawford versus Canelo. Come on, man. When does that happen in boxing? When people say I don't want to see a Canelo fight, that's probably the only time I've heard the media and fans say I don't want to see Canelo fight this guy. Everybody else they said okay to. You remember when people just said I don't care who Canelo fight, he can do whatever he wants. He's the face of boxing. He can do whatever he wants. He the face of boxing. But when Terence Crawford name come up, now Canelo he can't do whatever he want. Now as a fan, I'm demanding Canelo not to fight Terence Crawford. And that's the biggest hater I ever heard in my life. Anybody who says something like that is some of the biggest haters I've seen in my life. That is some of the most jealous, envious, hating, fanboy stuff I ever heard in my life in the sport of boxing. That's super fanboy talk. Super fanboy talk. Stuff like that, yeah. Get Canelo out of boxing. Get all these guys out of boxing. It's getting out of hand now. Too much fanboy talk around this dude's name, man. All these other guys' names. It's not that people, that fans hate these boxers and nothing like that. I like all boxers. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no problem with no boxer. I respect all of them that jump in the ring. Real talk. I'll watch anybody box. But I'm not finna be lied to by no fans or the sport. I'm sitting up here watching this every day. We gotta watch this. I mean, time is important. I'm not finna sit up here and watch no lies all day. And somebody build somebody up. Man, we got too much talent to be trying to build something up. That's just like people trying to build somebody up in the NBA. If you gotta build an NBA star up, I'm not finna watch it. And what they doing right now, trying to build a star up, and I ain't watching it. When they had Michael Jordan out there, I'm like, oh, okay, they got a star then. You know, a real NBA star, star of the league. Yeah, I ain't trying to watch no man-made stuff. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. A lot of these stars they be trying to put up in your face these days, it's man-made. We want to see the people who really want to go out here and go against the best. They trying to put man-made stars in our face, and it's not working. And this is the last straw right here, especially in boxing. If Canelo lose to Crawford, all that little bickering and guys trying to build themselves up behind somebody else's name, all that stuff gonna go away. Because it's good. You can still do that in a league or whatever, however style you're gonna run boxing. They said they got some boxing leagues coming up. However they're gonna run boxing, you can still do that. But it's too much talent to be waiting around 7-8 years on one good fight, bro. Please, you tripping. The biggest fights last year was dudes who was 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Those were the biggest fights last year. And the other fights was two guys who was 25 or whatever between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, and that was it. So two 25-year-olds and some old guys. Then you got Canelo beating up on some guys who got knocked out by some 160s. So that's 2024 for you, the year of boxing. That was it. So yeah, we need this fight. So to have fans out here saying, yeah, we didn't need this fight. Those dudes are cowards. And then the ones who are out here talking like they weren't rooting for Jermell Charlo, you're a coward too. You were rooting for Jermell Charlo to beat Canelo and gave him a very good chance. Didn't give him no criticism, no snack talk. None of this stuff I'm hearing right now. Now all of a sudden, people got criticism for this fight. That's why Canelo needs to lose, man. Needs to lose. Like for real. Not that I want him to lose. Needs to. So we can get a wake-up call in boxing. All this beneath people stuff, nah. He ain't on that type of level. He's not on that type of level. Like we at the point now when people trying to make it seem like, well, Canelo's on this level and Crawford's, no, he's not on no level. You know what level Canelo's on right now? Canelo ain't had a knockout since 2021. That's what level he on. He had a knockout in 4 years. And the guys he just fought just got knocked out. 2 of them. So now he ain't on no level right now. He ain't got no power right now. He ain't scaring nobody right now. He ain't putting no fear in nobody right now. He better come in clean his next fight. He need to build a reputation of being a clean fighter for the rest of his career. We need to be hearing about his testing. We better hear something soon. He better go into this fight looking like he has the past 4 or 5 years. Yeah, all that. While everybody playing around talking like about stuff that don't matter, he better go into this fight looking like he did the last 4 or 5 years. He go into this fight looking like Usyk or somebody. We gonna have a problem. I'm gonna let you know that right now. He going to this fight. I know how somebody looks. Y'all know how I get down. He better go into this fight looking normal. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Y'all know how I get down. Y'all know it. He better go into this fight on point. While everybody worrying about everything from left field and right field, they better hope that this dude come in on point. Even if he go in here in 12 rounds and lose to Crawford, he's still gonna be a all-time great. But at the same time, he better go into this fight clean because his reputation is on the line. Him taking this fight helps his reputation. Him doing anything else hurt his reputation. He better come into this fight clean. While everybody else is worried about everything else, they better make sure that the face of boxing gets treated like the face of boxing before this fight starts. Because if not, he's not going to be the face of boxing for me. He's not, personally for me, I don't think Canelo's face of boxing right now. Because he's not getting questioned like it. If Floyd Mayweather had a fight coming up right now, do you think that we'll be sitting back talking about the guy that Floyd going to fight all day? Come on now. Are we going to be doing whole lives about the guy that Floyd's fighting? More than Floyd? I'm talking about criticism. They say you don't get criticized unless you're the best. So why the guy with low expectations is getting treated like he's the guy that's supposed to come in with high expectations? Shout out to everybody in the live too, man. Appreciate everybody for hanging in. I'm just throwing some ideas out there. I still have respect for both fighters, so I'm not. Trust me, it's not like y'all gonna turn it live off and be like, "Man, Canelo a fraud." That's not gonna happen. But what I am saying is, from the public's eye, did they prepare Canelo to go into this fight against Terence Crawford? And this is a real question for real. And this is the most serious question I'm gonna ask over the next couple of weeks. Did the public prepare Canelo the same way they prepared Joshua for Dubois? Because I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I said something last year. I said it like probably the first 3 months last year when I first started going live. You know, I ain't know what I was doing. But I kept saying, man, y'all got Joshua fighting nobodies. How y'all gonna get him ready? I say, how y'all gonna get him ready fighting Ngannou? I mean, he knocked him out, but how you getting him ready though? And I got the same question with Canelo. Like, he's getting older, but he's not fighting the competition that's gonna keep him feeling young or moving young. He's fighting competition where he's just getting over. I'm not confident in any boxer that tells me, hey man, you know what? I just went 12 rounds with that dude. You know what I'm saying? I was just playing around. I could have knocked him out. I just went 12 rounds with him. I was just messing around with him. You just went 12 rounds with him? Bro, we had $30 million on that fight. If you would have lost, we had a $30 million purse. Yeah, I just wanted to carry him though. Nah, it's $30 million. If you could have knocked him out, you need to knock him out next time. So y'all telling me with $30 million on the line, and even before that, Canelo knew that Turkey on the Sheet money was out there. So with $500 million on the line, he out there trying to go 12 with Munguia. That's what everybody told me last year. $500 million on the line. Yeah, man, he just carried Munguia. He want to knock him out. Now I'm hearing that Munguia has a better chin than Crawford. I don't know if it's gonna be a live or a video I'm coming up with, but I got a topic coming up about Crawford's chin. People talking about his chin. Can he take Canelo power? That's the number one question I'm starting to hear. Can he take Canelo power? I'm pretty sure if these guys up here can take Canelo's power, pretty sure he'll be able to. I'm pretty sure he'll be able to take Canelo's power. That's all I'm saying. You got Charlo up here. You got Munguia, Berlanga, Amir Khan. We already know what happened with Amir Khan. And people look past the fact that Amir Khan actually, what was it? He got knocked out the same round against Terence Crawford and Canelo. And y'all know what they're gonna say about that. Yeah, it was a 6 round. When Canelo did, I don't want to sit up here and say it if Canelo didn't. Yeah, both rounds, 6 round. So Canelo and Crawford knocked out Amir Khan in the 6th round. And you know, most people will say, well, Amir Khan was done by then. You know, they'll say that. Amir Khan was done by then. You know, they'll say that. You know how that goes. Know how that goes. Yeah, he fought him like what? Amir Khan had 2 fights after that, then fought Crawford. But I'm gonna drop a hint on y'all though. If y'all want to check something out though, go check out that Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo fight. Go watch that Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo fight. And I think from the left hand position, Terence Crawford got something. From the southpaw position, he got something with that Billy Joe Saunders technique I was watching last night. I didn't even realize last night. I saw the fight, but I don't know. I don't remember it like that. But I did know that Canelo was. People say Canelo was getting dominated in that fight. He wasn't controlling the fight, but I wouldn't say he was getting dominated. Because I'll say this: if Crawford go out there and box like Billy Joe did, the same way, they're not gonna say he up on the cards. And Billy Joe wasn't running. But yeah, Terence Crawford gonna have some. He got some things he got to work on though with that Canelo situation. But yeah, they not really thinking about that though, man. Like Canelo's already been fighting guys that Terence Crawford could have been getting out of there a long time ago. He probably could have knocked out Charlo. Who knows? Now people say before Terence Crawford fought Earl Spence wasn't getting dominated by nobody. 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 Even Charlo was surprised. And he spars with the man. Nobody. He would be a good person to ask about as far as the Canelo fight right now with Crawford if he would have fought him. So now the only person you can ask is Amir Khan. Yeah, man, they have known about Crawford being a threat to this man for a long time now. Long time. A very long time. And when you look back at it, when people gonna look back at the whole Canelo resume and everything else, they gonna realize, what's up, Aaron? What's going on, dog? Shout out my dog Aaron, man. Appreciate Aaron for coming through, man. Appreciate the support, dog. When they look back at Canelo resume, they gonna realize, man, I could have had Andre on his resume. I could have had a couple of other guys on his resume beside the names he got on there. Man, there was a lot of names Canelo ain't put on his resume. They're gonna end up saying that. Now everybody got 50 people they want Canelo to fight. They want Canelo to fight Eubanks. That could have happened a long time ago. Duh. Um, they want him to fight Shiraz now. Pacheco was a name. Janovic was a name. It's a lot of people they've been throwing around. That's recently. If we talk about back then, I mean, what about a Laura rematch? Who deserves a rematch more than Laura? They let Golovkin get a rematch, but not Laura. They knew what time it was with Laura. So what? So people gonna say Laura was running? They gonna try to put that Terence Crawford fight in the same situation as what Laura had. And I'll go back and watch that fight again too. That's why Terence Crawford gotta press the gas against Canelo. They gonna try to put that fight in a category like Laura. You already got people putting narrative out there. Well, he's turkey out of sheets. Favorite fighter, man. Come on, man. Who knows how long turkey out of sheet didn't know who this guy is? We're not gonna give out credit like that. But yeah, the punch out put some of these fights with Canelo, you can just tell, man. Not a lot of punches being thrown like that. He taking his time in a lot of these fights. Yeah, let me see what he was doing with Billy Joe though. I was watching that Billy Joe fight. Billy Joe was picking Canelo apart a little bit, but Canelo was still doing some things that later on caught up with Billy Joe. They ended up stopping him too. Yeah, Billy Joe was throwing a lot of punches too. Just gotta throw a lot of punches, man. That's it. That's really about it. Canelo waiting on you to just tire yourself out. He wants that pressure to really wear you down. But it's gonna be a lot of scenarios that Billy Joe Saunders have put out there that Crawford could take advantage of. I was watching the fight last night. I was like, oh yeah, the jab. Crawford has a way better jab than Billy Joe Saunders. And Billy Joe wasn't that big against Canelo like people think. He was a big size, but yeah, Crawford gonna come in around the same way. It's not gonna be much of a difference. When Charlo stepped in the ring with Canelo, his size was never a problem. People already knew he wasn't gonna be small. Y'all noticed that too. Going into the fight, people questioned it, but as you look back, he wasn't small in that fight. When Crawford and Canelo did a face-off, people realized he's not small. They want him to be small bad, but he's not small though. But yeah, this is not like a Golovkin fight. Terence Crawford is if you look down Canelo's resume, Terence Crawford is the most devastating puncher he's been in the ring with. Outside of let me see, be real. Some guys who could punch. That one dude was punching. Cotto brother was punching, but not like that though. You got Shane Mosley. We know he could punch. Uh, Austin Trout underrated puncher too, but I don't know. You have Kirkland. I know you got Golovkin, Jacobs, Kovalev. He was already past that. So yeah, at this point right now, yeah, Terence Crawford definitely one of the hardest punchers. Dudes ain't just walking in there taking punches from Terence Crawford. That's not happening. I seen that with the last fight with Majramov. That wasn't happening. And speaking of Majramov, he probably threw more punches against. Let's see how many punches he threw against Ortiz. Because he didn't outpunch Terence Crawford. Let me see. Man, this dude Majramov landed. I mean, he threw 466 punches. 466. So a lot of people just think he was getting punches off. He got more punches off and threw more punches. I don't know if I landed. He might have landed more than that. He might have landed more, but he threw more punches against Ortiz though. He probably landed more against Crawford though, I think. Close. The number's close. But yeah, Crawford was doing work though. That last fight, they don't understand. He was actually putting in real work. If you look at I'm gonna show y'all the picture of Majramov real quick. That dude Majramal didn't even like he had the same. They say he was sick his last fight when he fought Ortiz, bro. Look at that. Look at that man head. Crawford had that man head swell up in the ring. And the crazy part is he don't even look like that. Let me see if I can find a picture with his face. Yeah, his face swell up in that Crawford picture, man. So yeah, they try to act like, yeah, he won, man. Crawford was running in the fight. Crawford was definitely not running in this fight. If he was running and a dude look like this, now this is how the guy usually looks. That's how he usually looks. Still head swell up in that. Then the next day he had sunglasses on. So if they think Canelo just gonna run in there and put hands on Terence Crawford easy and just walk away with a victory, they tripping. That's definitely not gonna be an easy win. And I'm gonna see if I can find something else too. Let me see if I can pull it up. I can't even pull it up right now. But yeah, even in the Ortiz fight, bro, they both had more damage on their fight than when I don't want to disrespect the guy by doing this, but I'm just telling people what's going on out here. Just keeping it a buck now. Cause people like, oh, you know, Crawford gets Madrimov. Look at this. Everybody be criticizing when Crawford fight. Look at this. Madrimov did this to Ortiz face. Shout out to Ortiz. I'm just using the example. Now Madrimov fought Ortiz right after he fought Crawford. And people say, yeah, Ortiz was in there. Great performance by him. Blah, 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 blah. And the face looked like this. Come on, man. Let's be real now. But they'll say, oh, man, Madrimov, he was just an amateur. You see how they dress up that win that Ortiz got against him? Oh, because Ortiz was similar to what Crawford did. Well, that was a dominating performance. What? They didn't say Crawford dominated his last performance. He dominated his last performance, but he doesn't get credit as far as dominating. You see how when they judged Crawford's last fight, they judge his fight as if they don't know who he is. When they judge Canelo's last couple of fights, his last three fights, his last three performances, which have been horrible, the Williams Skull performance, the worst of the year, and then the Berlanga and Munguia fights. The only reason those were exciting is because those guys got dropped. That was it. Besides that, yeah, it was punching back and forth, but Let's be real. So Terence Crawford goes out here, does this guy Majamov's face like this. Majamov goes out the next fight. Majamov usually looks like this. Then he goes out the next fight, and Majamov does. Now everybody said the best win that Ortiz has is against Israel Majamov, the guy that Terence Crawford struggled against, and people say he lost against Majamov. Then Ortiz face ends up like this against Majamov, and people say, yeah, Terence Crawford ain't effing with Ortiz. Ortiz that guy. And this is Ortiz's face after he fought Majamov. Now, if Terence Crawford's face was looking like this, people would say what? Now, it's boxing. Now, you're going to get scarred up, but dominating performance? Come on, man. Really? And then Terence Crawford threw more punches than Majamov when he fought him. Majamov only threw 200 and some punches. Terence Crawford threw 400 and some punches. And they say Terence Crawford was running. You got Benavidez Senior out talking, yeah, Terence Crawford looked trash his last fight. He looked trash. How did Ortiz look his last fight then? If his face is looking like this, how he look his last fight? How good he do? What's up, Dark Kent? What's going on, dog? Yeah, exactly. Did a number on Ortiz. And shout out to Ortiz. He finna fight Thurman soon. I'm just saying. If you're gonna judge somebody on the level of Terence Crawford, don't be trying to put these little young fighters on Terence Crawford level and then try to baby them like, well, yeah, you know, he gotta well, all right, keep him over there in the kiddie section. Big boys is over here. If we're gonna judge him like a kid, keep him over there in the kiddie section. You know how they used to put the Rugrats in the playpen? Put him over there. Don't be trying to judge him like a big dog and then because they don't want to judge these guys like that. Look at this. Keep him in the kiddie section. You just got to know, man. Certain boxers, you just got to report on, keep them pushing. They got him in the kiddie section. From now on, bro, they babying too many fighters, bro. It's like, bro, it's a playpen, bro. It's horrible. Then trying to compare everybody to Terence Crawford. I did a live last year. Comparing fighters to Terence Crawford will end careers. No disrespect, but Tim Tszyu, he got a lot of pressure put on him. People talking about his career over with. Yeah, and guess what, Dark Ken? I'm glad Dark Ken brought that up. Dark Ken. Boychuk is number 2 right now. I'll pull that up for you. Boychuk is number 2. Virgil Ortiz is the interim champion. And Boychuk is number 2 right now in the rankings, in the ratings. And Ennis is number 1. This man talking about, let me see if I can pull it up. He talking about fighting there you go. He talking about fighting Keith Thurman. But you got Boychuk up here. I'm gonna put a poll up tomorrow. I might put it up right now. I'm gonna put it up tomorrow. I want to see who everybody would rather see: a Serhai Boychuk rematch with Ortiz or Keith Thurman. Because you can fight Boychuk right there. I can see already by the way guys is getting pressured, but they ain't getting pushed to certain fights that they already had. They look bad in. They ain't finna hold these fighters accountable like that. Not saying they should. Like I said, Ortiz still want the smoke, but I'm just saying, if you're going to judge people like Terence Crawford, do it. Or I'm not going to take them serious. That's how I look at stuff, bro. I ain't like everybody else. If they say a boxer is on Terence Crawford level, he better be on his level. Because they don't say nobody on Canelo level. And Canelo ain't got no special effects. Canelo just Mexican style, rock 'em, sock 'em. So everybody in that moment just all of a sudden a fighter who can fight left hand or southpaw orthodox. All of a sudden, all these young guys coming in, yeah, they better than him. Well, running back with Boychuk then, because Terence Crawford he would have ran it back with Boychuk. Ain't no way Sorhai Boychuk would have dropped Terence Crawford twice, and we would have looked the other direction. No way that Canelo would have sat up here and won every round against Terence Crawford, and we would have said, you know what, and just forgot about him. So guys have been getting paydays against Canelo. It's not like that's nothing new. And then when you see, hey, they got him ranked up there, bro. I don't know why they got him ranked up. They said lima beans. He said lima beans. Dark Kid said lima beans. They got him ranked up there, bro. I mean, they got him ranked. They got the dude ranked. I haven't seen him fight before, I don't think. As far as I know, I haven't seen him fight. Unless he was on a certain card. I haven't seen him. He said lima beans. That's hilarious. Well, yeah, man. If Terence Crawford would have still been at 54, they would have said, man, you got to fight Ennis, Boychuk, Ramos. You got to fight Thurman, Boots. Well, I already said Boots, but Ortiz, and Pandora, all these guys. Baccarat. Where the fighters at were in boxing that I can put in matches like Terence Crawford? That's what I want to see. Oh, my bad. Yeah, that's what I want to see though, man. Cause right now they putting a lot of responsibility on Terence Crawford to carry boxing, without actually giving him the accolades. A lot of responsibility. All the big fights, all the fantasy fights. I'm being honest. I heard it last year. Oh, Crawford need to fight this guy. Oh, who Canelo need to fight? Oh, I don't care about that. You don't care about the face of boxing? That still blows my mind, man. I'm trying to figure out where all these Canelo fans been at. They ain't care about the face of boxing, who he fight. That's crazy to me, man. That ain't nothing simple. I know people be like, yeah, bro, that ain't simple, bro. That's not normal. That's not ordinary. Who I got with Norman and Haney? I don't know. I don't really know as far as who I got, to be honest with you. Just being completely honest with you on now, I do not know. That's a 50-50 fight for real. In my eyes. I know everybody see Norman now as far as a knockout, but he can actually box. Most people saying now that Norman can't box, which is hilarious to me because a guy like Canelo can go in there and lose a whole bunch of rounds to Billy Joe and they say he can box. So I don't know. You can almost compare it. And let's be real. I'm glad Dark Kent brought that up too. You can basically compare Norman to a Canelo. Let's just say you compare Norman to Canelo. Because people say, oh, Norman can't do this, Norman can't do that, he can't do this, he can't box like that, footwork, this and this. Okay, why y'all don't say that about Canelo? Canelo wasn't even doing what Brian Norman was doing. That's why I say Canelo, get him out of. Crawford needs to get him out of boxing. Get him up out of boxing. Not because I'm tired of him. It's just, bro, the sport of boxing is just doing too much for him, man. Get him out of boxing. It's too much biasness towards him and these other guys' way. Canelo has never knocked nobody out the way Norman has. Uh, Even the smaller weight guys. Come on, man. Like, let's be real. That's why I be looking at certain stuff. I'm like, man, come on. But you can compare a Norman to a Canelo, and a Canelo fan be like, nah, he trash. He trash. He can't box. He need to box. He need to do this. I thought you said you don't like runners. Now you want Norman to box like Devin Haney? I thought you don't like guys who run. Oh, okay. Now he got a box. Haney got pillow fist, but now Norman got a box. Which one is it, man? Come on, man. Terence Crawford can do both. Now it's a problem. Man, come on, man. That's why I'm confused. That's why this whole conversation is confusing to me. I'm really confused. You got a Terence Crawford that can do what Norman and Devin Haney can do. Well, people like, yeah, man, I don't know what he can do with Canelo. What can Canelo do with him? I ain't seen Canelo beat nobody that good. If we're gonna keep it real, especially the way everybody talking. You said you got Norman sleeping Dev and Bud over Canelo on 12. Yeah, I got to go on 12. No, I definitely think Norman got a chin though. I just think we talking about what 12-round fights. Devin Haney got a lot of experience in 12-round fights. A lot of experience. Then the man, his footwork and boxing ability is just, yeah, man, it's just one of the ones. But yeah, I understand what you're saying though. People have been sleeping on Norman dog for a minute now. I heard people getting real disrespectful with Norman last year. Real disrespectful. So I would definitely like to see that. Yeah, but I like both fighters though. You know, everybody getting all they getting all dramatic about the fight. Like, bro, chill, bro. Like y'all ain't even. Come on, man. Be dramatic about Ryan Garcia turning that rematch down. That's what I like to see the energy from. I don't know. It'll be a close fight though, man. It really will. It could be a close fight to the point where you don't know who won. It might be a draw. It could happen. It could be a draw. It really could. When you add in age and power and where these guys at right now, activity, competition level, it could be a draw. Yeah, a lot of these fights can go that way with draws, especially when you got a lot more tougher fights happening right now. But yeah, we gonna have some good fights coming up, man. A lot of people definitely can't overlook these matchups coming up because we got real fighters stepping into the ring, man. None of this build up stuff. You got guys really stepping up. I'm not really tripping over who wins between Norman and Haney because uh, we need fights like this, regardless. Just like with other fights that happen, that's big. We need fights like this. Like Bitter and Bibble, we need big fights. We already didn't have much going on during the pandemic. During 2020, 2021, 22, we didn't have much going on. That was the Jake Paul show in boxing. So really, everyone else haven't been doing anything in boxing except sitting back. Yeah, I got Moses Thomas and White 50-50. I'm gonna do that in the morning too. I'm gonna talk about that in the morning. I got Thomas versus White. I don't know, man. I'm leaning towards a Thomas for 12 for going 12, but I want to pick Dillian White, man. I'm not gonna lie. I might end up doing it just because I see a lot of fans starting to get worried now. They're like, "Oh, Dillian White seems serious." They starting to get afraid now. They was talking about him 2 weeks ago, trolling him. Now they starting to get scared. They starting to see how serious he is. Usually he's a little goofy or whatever, joking, but he locked in right now, so they kind of afraid. Can't. I'm with you on that, man. It's 50-50 for me. Most of these fights 50-50. To be honest with you, I like what most of these fighters are bringing to the table on both sides. Whether it's Norman, uh, Haney, Atama, White. Yeah, all these guys bring a lot to the table. But these some good style matchups though. And fans need to see a lot of these, so it can be easy to break down fights. I didn't learn how to break down fights till I seen guys like or know who's winning a fight. That's pretty hard to find out. Some people don't know who's winning or score a fight. I learned all that from watching guys who's on the same level fight each other. That's why I got that from. That's why this Norman and Haney fight that's gonna help that a lot. You see how much people learn from watching the Ryan Garcia fight? One fight, everybody learned all that. Outside the ring and inside the ring. They probably not gonna use the information, but they seen what happened. Yeah, man. White only got what? I thought he had like 4 or 5 losses. He only got like 2 or 3 losses. I think he got 3 losses. Two by AJ and then Povetkin. Povetkin was on that but Dillian White was too. Yeah, Atama, his arms is 1 inch longer than Dillian White, so yeah, it's gonna be one of them fights, man. They about the same size, arm reach and height. It's gonna be a very good fight, man. I can't wait to see that. When the weekend get here, people gonna be excited, but they pushing Moses fast though. I know what the motivation is behind it, but I don't know, man. This is pretty fast to be lining him up with a fight like this. They did this with Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois, but Daniel Dubois was a lot older. He wasn't 20 years old, I don't think. No, he wasn't 20. That was like 4 or 5 years ago. More like 22, 23. But yeah, that's gonna be a good fight. Dillian White said when they was asking him about Moses, he said, "Nah, that's Godzilla. I'm just a Japanese civilian running around. I'm an old man." Yeah, he just don't like that people downplaying him getting beat by a young guy like Moses. I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty disrespectful, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's pretty disrespectful. They see his last 3 fights. They just don't think that Dylan White got it no more. He haven't been active either. He fought once. He sat out all 2023, but he only fought what twice last year. A total of 10 rounds. Yeah, so the man's like he's only fought what 10 rounds in almost 3 years. It's not good for a heavyweight. Timing in his legs. 37 years old. Yeah, Dylan White got a lot going against him though. Oh, they talking about him fighting Gabe Rosado. Man, nobody want to see that, man. I don't want to see that. It's time for Berlanga to step it up, bro. They talking about Gabe Rosado. It's time to get in the mix. However way he can. Yeah, it's time to get in the mix, man. That resume atrocious. It's time to get in the mix. Like I said, bro, he ain't really. He need rounds, bro. With he need rounds. These Jason Quigley's. Yeah, that was a wreck because Andre knocked out Quigley in the second round, then Berlanga just took him the distance. That should have been a red flag right there. It sure is now. Yeah, he ain't got no good wins on his resume, bro. Berlanga gonna have to start from he gonna have to start from the bottom at 168. At this point, he might as well fight Munguia. Nah, you know it'd be a good fight for him, Becknerman. Shoot, Derevyanchenko will probably get him right now. I ain't trying to be funny. He needs to fight Eric Bazian, the Canadian guy that that Munguia fought. He can fight him. Nah, I don't know about him. Hey, forget it. He can fight Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant still want that fight, unless he gonna fight Charlo still. He can fight Fulgham, that dude who fought Vietnamir recently. Yeah, he got some fights out there. He can make it happen. I know one thing. He gonna have some trouble at 68. Oh yeah, I'm trying to give me one. That bird be that bird be chilling. Oh yeah, Andre Ward. He been trying to get Anthony Joshua for a minute now. Andre Ward been trying to get that fight. The fights he been interested in is Canelo and Anthony Joshua. That goes back to what I was saying. And I would say it's not completely Canelo's fault, but it sort of is because Canelo let Golovkin off the hook by fighting him. If if Golovkin didn't fight Canelo, he would have had to be forced to fight Andre Ward. His resume just wasn't up to par like that. So Canelo really saved Golovkin from Andre Ward, but he should have fought Andre Ward. Golovkin. That's why Canelo get a little more credit than me. I know most people be like, nah, bruh. This dude fought Kovalev and he fought Golovkin. Golovkin didn't fight Kovalev or Andre Ward, and he got called out by Andre Ward. So Golovkin, he usually fight the opposite guy or counterpart that Canelo is fighting. Canelo fought Amir Khan, and then you got Golovkin fighting Kell Brook for some reason. So when When Canelo fought Kovalev, you could have had Andre Ward jump in the ring with Golovkin, right? That's why I said that dude got let off the hook. Let me look this up real quick. That dude got let off the hook bad, man. Let me make sure I got these dates set up right, because I know that. Yeah, I don't even gotta look it up. I know this. So Kovalev fought Canelo 2019. Then 3 years later, Golovkin fight Canelo. Man, please, bro. He could have fought Andre Ward 2019. That's why I said, man, Crawford doing more than all these guys been doing the last 10 years. They ain't been trying to fight nobody. Andre Ward fought Kovalev 2017. 2 years later, Canelo fight him. Now, mind you, when all these fights was going on with Kovalev and Andre Ward, Canelo was fighting Triple G. And what was Triple G at? 160. Triple G wasn't trying to go up two weight classes. So it's sad that other fighters in history, we're gonna have a list of fighters that that's not gonna be on people's favorite fighter list, like Mikey Garcia and um, Adrian Bronner and Terence Crawford. These guys jumping up two weight classes to fight. See, Golovkin could have been on that list, but he didn't want to take that risk though. So y'all understand what I'm saying? It's like Terence Crawford is doing 15 years of work, or he's being given 15 years of work or responsibility, while everybody else get to sit around and get paydays. So when you got everybody running around saying, "Oh, this guy's getting a payday," bro, everybody been getting paydays. They're not fighting the same type of fights that Turkey Al Sheik is about to put on these guys. That haven't been happening in the last 10 or 15 years. What Turkey Al Sheik is going to do right now and what's going on right now is something that never happened before. And as a boxer and as somebody who can call the shots in the sport of boxing, you should be doing what Turkey Al Sheik is doing. Especially if you're the money guy or when people say, "Oh, Canelo's the money fight." He should have been responsible enough to keep the sport growing. You shouldn't have an era where the sport died during your era. Boxing actually declined during Canelo's era. In Mayweather's era, whether people know it or not, or whether they want to admit it, boxing grew. It grew to the point where it got so big that a fight with a UFC fighter was one of the biggest fights in history. And that helped grow the sport. And now you got bare knuckle boxing and all that stuff. All that stuff helped. Yeah, people don't even know it. I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna just go deep for a minute. People don't even know it, but Floyd and McGregor just having the bare knuckle fight that helped build an audience for the Floyd and McGregor having the fight that helped build an audience for the bare knuckle fight, because you got bare knuckle fans. I mean, you got MMA fans who are watching bare knuckle fighting, but they're not really boxing experts. They don't know boxing that much, but they like boxing because they got into it watching Conor McGregor versus Mayweather. People will say that's stupid, but they'll say that's how I got started into it. And I probably don't like the traditional boxing, but I like watching some kind of boxing. And they watch bare knuckle boxing. So that one fight created a whole different genre of boxing now. And in Canelo's era, he created a Jake Paul era. And Terence Crawford got to come say today. I think Terence Crawford is the only guy that didn't get offered a Jake Paul fight. If you want to be real, that's something we can actually talk about right there. I think Terence Crawford is the only guy that didn't get offered a Jake Paul fight. Even Jake Paul know what time it is. He'll go talk to Tank Davis though. Yeah, Jake Paul knew what time it was. What's up, Dark Kent? Dark Kent said Triple G versus, Canelo versus Triple Cheese trilogy was a grab bag cash out for Golovkin and his team. And what made Golovkin look worse in my eyes was um, Canelo was actually hurt in that last fight. So really, Golovkin didn't even try to go all out in that fight. Like, man, you ain't no warrior, dog. Come on, man. That wasn't no warrior stuff, man. He looked like a payday fighter going out at the end. I'm not trying to go in on the guy, but I'm just saying, uh, that stuff don't really help when the boxing world is going out of their way to make certain fights for you. And I think Golovkin helped contribute to mediocrity in boxing. His resume is not good. It's just not. Yeah, it's not good. I don't like his resume. It's horrible. When Gabe Rosado is one of the best names on your resume, it's horrible. It's bad resume. Bad. One of the most overrated resumes. The man had he had the best names in the sport calling his name for a fight. Best names. Then when he fought Steve Rose in 2019, the dude couldn't even come in at 160. He had to do a catch weight at what, 163 or something. Whatever it was, 164 catch weight. So he had to do a catch weight. So he should have been at 168 in 2019. And he fighting Steve Rose, and then he went ahead and fought Derevyanchenko. That era right there, man, it hurt American boxing is just as a whole. Because Triple G made $100 million doing absolutely nothing. Nothing, man. The man to do, and they worried about how much these fighters making now. You heard all these guys, oh man, these guys ain't fighting the way they supposed to. Turkey out of sheep, man. These guys they getting paid too much. They didn't hold that responsibility on Golovkin. They didn't hold that responsibility on him. Yeah, I know what time it is. And he fell for the trick bag. They probably want to get the undefeated record off of him. And they did too. Got a write off off of him. Yeah, Steve Rose. That was actually a good fight though. Steve Rose a good fighter. For the little 4 rounds that it lasted. But yeah, you had no reason stepping in the ring with Steve Rose. Come on, man. Yeah, Steve Rose ain't trash though. He went 10 with Berlanga and Emma Williams. But he had no reason he shouldn't have been in the ring with Steve Rose, bro. At that time, Golovkin was like a 68. Yeah, so guys really been, when you look back, you're gonna realize, man, these guys missing out on a lot of fights, man. A lot of fights. Man, your resume is not that good. Yeah, when Crawford hangs it up, he gonna have a nice resume. And Canelo gonna be on it. All those days of people saying who Crawford fought, we don't gotta talk about that no more. That's like a Barry Bonds home run. That's in the water. We don't gotta talk about that no more. Matter of fact, at this point right now, if you look at Crawford and Golovkin resume, yeah, his resume is better. Crawford got a better resume than Golovkin. So yeah, he gonna be able to do his thing in this fight with Canelo. I'm not too much worried. He's a risk taker. He's the guy taking the risk. You know, Canelo was usually taking the risk against Golovkin, even though, like I said before, these guys was Canelo was weighing 165 against Floyd. So when they bring up the size and everything, oh man, how is Crawford gonna handle the size? The same way Floyd did? Unless Canelo's gonna come in 190 or something like that, or 185. Unless he comes in weighing that much, he's gonna weigh the same thing, close to what the same thing he weighed against Floyd, right? 165. That man was huge against Floyd. Everybody knew it too. They was like, "Oh, this guy Floyd's an idiot. This is the biggest guy he's been in the ring with," and they knew it. Oh, 58 pounds? That's crazy. Congrats, man. Good job. 58 pounds is huge. But they've already known that Canelo's walking around heavy. You know, I give him his little credit as far as moving up and fighting Golovkin. You know, I'm a real one. I'll give him his credit. But yeah, he ain't doing nothing no different than anybody else in boxing history than done. Now Crawford, he's the one out here really taking the risk right now. Really taking the risk. And he had a year off. No warm up fights, tune ups, nothing. Jumping straight into the fight. Yeah, I think he's gonna be all right, man, in this fight. I really do. I'm not too much worried about it. I think that Canelo's going into this fight thinking that maybe he's cleaned up some things from the Crawford fight, but I don't think he's cleaned up a lot of things from Crawford fight. What I seen from Canelo against Billy Joe Saunders really worried me, especially from a southpaw position. Yeah, I haven't seen Canelo really do good against these southpaws. Lara's a southpaw. He doesn't do well against southpaws in my eyes. From what I've seen, doesn't do a good job. We had one judge that had Lara winning the fight. A guy named Jerry Roth. I ain't seen him no more since that fight. They probably retired him. Oh, he died. My bad. Oh, he passed away. 2022. Well, RP to him. But yeah, he had Lara. Shoot, I need to look this guy up. He probably one of the last real ones. He's the only judge in the history of sport to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I gotta look this guy up. But he's the only person that had Lara winning the fight. Moretti and Levi Martinez, they had Canelo winning. So who's to say that? And then the dude Levi Martinez had the score 117, 111. Dave Moretti had it 115, 113. And Jerry Roth had it 113, 115. Roth said Lara won the first 3 rounds, the fifth and the sixth, the 10th and the 11th. Even the fan voting said, because we know that Canelo has more fans than Lara. We can all agree on that, right? Even the fans voted and said that it was a draw. So they admit that Lara didn't lose. So Crawford can go out here and pull out a Lara performance, and people be like, "Man, Lara ain't did nothing." Oh, that's what I was supposed to look up. Lara at Canelo comfy box. Let me look this up real quick. Oh, this ain't good. Oh, whoa. Oh, this somebody else. Okay, I'm like, whoa, what is this? Am I gonna be able to find it? Man, they ain't even got the stats up here. What? What we got going on? Seriously. Man, these dudes right here. Let me see this real quick. I'm just looking up something. This what oh, what? Oh, I'm gonna do a video on this later on. I ain't even gonna tell y'all what this man said on here. I'm gonna do a video on this later on, man. I got to do a video. I might do a live on this later on tomorrow. Y'all would not believe. Hey, I'm gonna just say this so y'all know what I'm talking about. Canelo said this after the fight, after he fought Lara. That's what Canelo said. Lara now. We already know who Lara is. He said, I came to fight. I didn't come to run. You don't win by running. You win by hitting. You definitely have a great. He said he definitely has a great jab, but you don't win a fight like that by running. So this man is saying that Lara was fighting like William Skull. Canelo said Lara was fighting like William Skull. Running? He said Lara lost that fight because he was running. Boy, the history behind this running stuff is starting to get real famous. This running stuff is saving lives out here, ain't it? And careers. Oh, now I know why the Tom and Jerry thing is going on now. So if anybody wants to sit up here and say, "Oh, Turkey is uh Crawford is Turkey's favorite fighter, he's on Turkey's side," first of all, Turkey's talking about the running just like everybody else is. So it sounds like they prepping for what Canelo could take advantage of. I ain't never heard Crawford come out of no fight and say, "Man, that dude was running." I'm not even gonna lie, man. Once I hear guys saying that, I don't feel like you're a great boxer if you got to say that. I never heard great boxers who knock people out say, "Man, I lost that fight because that dude was running." I don't understand that. That's crazy. Yeah, but I just came here to see the punch stats, and he talking like that. Wow. And let's go back and see this right. And I want to say this too, because I'm gonna look at this when this happened. When did this fight happen? This fight happened with Laura. That happened 2014. So 2 fights after he fought Floyd. Man, this man already was his head was already blown up by then. He's, they should have stuck him in the ring with Maidana. Canelo not fighting Maidana around that time he fought Lara. Yeah, he got off of one then. Talking about fighting a runner. Why you ain't fight Maidana then? Ain't nobody tell you to go in there with no Cuban amateur. You know how Cuban fighters move. You had Marcos Maidana right there. Why you ain't fight him? Ain't none of those guys fight Maidana back then. We can say, hey, I can say what I want about Floyd or anybody else. A lot of them dudes back then ain't fighting no Maidana. None of them. And Maidana had already lost to Amir Khan, so it wasn't no reason for everybody to be shook like that. And the man had 5 losses by the time after he fought Floyd. And lost to Devin Alexander. So they let most people that sit up here act like Devin Alexander ain't that good. So they let Devin Alexander go out there and beat Maidana. But they didn't step in the ring with him. Maidana he fought Floyd in 2014. Okay. Floyd fought Canelo 2013. Floyd saw Maidana fight Canelo twice and kept his name out of his mouth. I mean, Canelo saw Floyd fought Maidana twice and didn't say anything about him. So already been some ducking going on since back in the day. Canelo could have had a real good resume. Yeah, you let Adrian Broner come up from 135 to fight Maidana, but you didn't? But your resume posted? Okay, man. Kid crazy. Yeah, you do got some dancing in the star fighting, bro. You do. That's why I'm letting everybody know right now. Hey, if it's another fight next year where you like, hey, Devin Haney got, because right now, it's about the third or fourth year I done heard people talking about Haney got a big fight coming up. These other guys that let him catch up to their level, it's not a good look. These other fighters better step up, man. I'm telling you. They better step it up big time. Once this free pay-per-view start with the zone, everybody gonna be watching boxing in a minute. When they find out it's free. I think that Brian Norman and Haney fight is free. So yeah. People are definitely gonna be tuning in. It's gonna be a lot more fighters getting pushed out the way. But yeah, guys been moving around Terence Crawford though. People just don't know the history of it. They think that Terence Crawford been an unknown all this time. But what you hear Mikey Garcia say? Mikey Garcia said, "Oh, I was the reason Terence Crawford got signed, but you didn't want to fight him though, and you didn't tell none of the guys at PBC. You didn't call them out about not fighting them, allegedly." They got Colin Walsh versus Vargas Jr. Yeah, we already talked about that fight. Um, yeah, they didn't really call those guys out, man. They could have fought Terence Crawford a long time ago. And yeah, if you look at the names he has in the resume, most of these guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, Terence Crawford out here ended careers, bro. No disrespect to nobody. If people don't know it or not, but one thing people ain't talking about leading up to this fight, Terence Crawford ended careers just like Canelo is. That's one thing that people are not talking about. This dude ended careers. When people jump in the ring with Terence Crawford, they're not the same. And people will say, "Oh, you thinking about Spence?" I'm not even thinking about Spence. That dude Abernesian, it's over with for him. And then who else? Man, most of these guys on this list, I don't want to go through their names, man. We already know Sean Porter was gonna retire or close to it, but I mean, guys is jumping in the ring with him at the end. That's not good either. They jumping in the ring before they gonna hang it up. But most of them, when they get in the ring with Terence Crawford, they ain't fighting no more. Like I don't know if everybody seen that fight with Felix Diaz. Felix Diaz was a beast too. Man, when Terence Crawford was fighting Felix Diaz, bro, I was like, this dude ain't trying to knock this dude out. He beating the crap out of this dude. And I'm watching, and I'm like, this ain't no normal, like somebody normally just beating somebody up in a boxing match. If anybody hasn't watched the fight, please go back and watch Felix Diaz versus Terence Crawford. I don't like to say this, but this literally happened. Two fights later, this dude Felix Diaz ended his career. He was like a medalist or whatever. I think he was like a gold medalist, something like that. 2 fights later, this dude ended his career. He ran into Crawford. It was like, nah, I can't do this. And Crawford was the only guy to stop him. He was the only guy to stop him. The dude had beat Adrian Granados. And Granados just fought Conor Benn in 2021. Had a majority decision, lost to Lamont Peterson. But Crawford ended his career. Stu was an Olympian. Was supposed to be like the what these guys coming out like, supposed to be like a Lamont Roach or something like that. The twist between him and Tank, but man, ended that dude's career, man. This dude been ending careers. Canelo would be the first person. The dude Majramov that Terence Crawford just fought recently. I'm not being funny when I say this. He don't even like move the same, right? I don't think maybe he needs to take a couple of months off because I'll be real with y'all, he ain't moving like he did against Terence Crawford. Nobody can tell me that he fought the same. I know that he said he was sick and had bronchitis or whatever. Bro, he wasn't. His confidence was gone. Like, when he fought Terence Crawford, he looked like he was the man. When he fought Vergil Ortiz, his confidence was gone. Like, dudes ain't the same when they get in the ring after him. It's like he ain't knocking you out to where he just dropping you and then the ref waving it off. So you can have a long career if somebody do that. If you just getting dropped and the referee like, oh, stop the fight. Now, if Terence Crawford ended up beating the crap out of you to the point where he helping you stand up and just got you in the corner putting hands on you, that's not good. This might be your last fight. So when Terence Crawford told Canelo that, I'm telling everybody right now, he didn't say that he was going to end it, but he said he hope he continues. Because everybody else ain't doing that like that. And when they do continue, it ain't the same. I'm going to tell you that right now. It ain't the same. I've seen it already. This dude is ending careers, man. When Terence Crawford fought Jeff Horn, let me tell y'all something. When Terence Crawford fought Jeff Horn, he lasted to the 9th round. Jeff Horn wasn't no old man either. and he had just got the win over Pacquiao. He lost to Zarafod and Tim Tszyu, which wasn't bad because that's Tim Tszyu and Zarafod, big names in Australia. But he retired after that. After he lost to Zarafod and Tim Tszyu, he retired. And people and everybody don't know who Zarafod is. He's the guy that was on. I want to say Canelo and he was on. What was Zarafod on? What fight was that? Was that Berlanga and not Berlanga? I'm tripping. Tim Tszyu and Fundora. Zarafod was on the Tim Tszyu and Fundora card, and Lara ended up knocking him out in like the second round. Man, Lara knocked this dude out in the second round, bro. And Jeff Horn, who fought Pacquiao and Terence Crawford, got KO'd by this dude in the ninth round. He was already done after he fought Terence Crawford. I'm telling you. Not as far as physically, but mentally, he was like, man. Like, mentally, Terence Crawford is beating these guys to the point where it's like, am I really professional? Like, what just happened? It's like Shane Song off of Mortal Kombat or something. And Canelo doing the same thing. If you look at Canelo record, Deuce is not continuing after they fight him. They're taking a lot of time off. People to say it's the money. Yeah, but look at Berlanga and look, hey, I'll say this. I'll keep it 100 on this. What if Canelo did so much damage on Berlanga and Munguia to the point where it wasn't good for them to try to get a big fight so soon because they wasn't the same as they were at the time they fought Canelo. Who knows? That could happen. Because I've seen guys look tough against certain fighters, like a Canelo or something. In the next couple of fights, they just getting dropped a lot. And you're like, whoa, why this dude getting dropped so much? I will say that Canelo is destroying guys. Because look at John Ryder. By the time John Ryder got to Munguia, he was already done. And John Ryder was thinking, man, I lasted 12 rounds. He don't understand that Canelo was hurt. He like, I lasted 12 rounds with Canelo. Then Munguia knocked him out. He's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm finna hang it up. Golovkin, everybody say how much of a professional Golovkin is and how prestigious he is in the sport of boxing. Man, after he was fighting Canelo, he wasn't really putting in no work. When he fought Canelo, like we were saying earlier, Steve Rose and all these guys, Derevyanchenko was a good fight. I thought Derevyanchenko was pretty good in that fight. He got dropped, which it hurt him, but yeah, it was the names he started. Then he started fighting once a year, once every 2 years, and they moved to the zone just so him and Canelo could have that third fight. Really, it helped build that app. So yeah, I ain't understand that. But yeah, Canelo is finishing guys off too, but with Terence Crawford, he's really doing that. And I don't see too many guys, Canelo jumping in the ring when that does that. I know Kovalev did it at one point, but he wasn't that guy like that when Canelo fought him. Yeah, closest thing you'll find is like a Bivol to what Terence Crawford bring to the table. Billy Joe, you can mix that in there. Billy Joe's skill level is not like Terence Crawford's. That's the scary part about this matchup coming up. Yeah, Lara sitting dudes down at 160s, Kent. He said, do you think Pac-Man? Yeah, Pac-Man fighting in December, Native Wild Man. He fighting in December. We're going to see Pac-Man again. He might fight Rolly. Who knows, man? He might fight Tank. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Don't be surprised if you see some talks about Tank Davis and Pacquiao. You just never know. They already was talking about it before he had this Rolly thing coming up, but don't be surprised you hear about Tank and Pacquiao. I'm just because him next year, I don't know who will wait a year on a fight like that or be available that much besides Pacquiao. It's not gonna be a guy that's young in the middle of his career waiting, and nobody else is worth waiting on either, especially without a belt. Yeah, Lara sitting dude down at 160. Yeah, Garcia was like, "Let me step in there." That's why I said recently, Kent. I'm glad Kent brought that up. I said last year, Kent. I was like, man, they need to have Lara fight Canelo instead of this Munguia or Berlanga fight. But yeah, a lot of people didn't like that idea. I thought that was a great idea though. I thought Lara fighting him would have been a good idea. They was already talking about Janovic versus Canelo, so I would have thought if Janovic or Lara would have fought each other, that could have worked out, and they could have fought eventually Canelo because you had Adamas fight Shiraz. It would have all made sense, but people waiting on the Canelo sweepstakes, messing up a lot of things. But yeah, Lara's right there. They want him to retire so bad. They was hoping that Lara would start getting older by now, looking older. They thought he was gonna be like Ugas. They like, well, Ugas is getting older, so him and Lara is both Cuban, so maybe that Lara slows down too. Nah, not a chance. Dude's taking care of himself. Yeah, Lara's a problem. I just thought about something too. A fighter who reminds me of Lara. Yeah, hey, Lara, Manny after that fight with Ugas, I was like, man, it's time to hang it up. Manny was getting touched up in that Ugas fight. That's the only time I was worried about him in the fight that much. But this time, Manny was smarter about it. He saved them legs. He saved them legs this time. Manny was smart about it. He was like, man, I ain't finna try to run in there. Yeah, that was smart though. But yeah, I wouldn't. Manny, he gonna try to do it anyways. He gonna try to make a crazy fight. I thought he was gonna hang it up a long time ago. He actually was supposed to fight Barrios last year. Yeah, he was actually supposed to fight Barrios last year, but they waited, man. Pacquiao was out of shape. I don't know why he was out of shape when he fought that Japanese guy. Yeah, he fought that Japanese guy. He was all messed up. But yeah, I like the fights that's coming up right now, man. To be honest with you, they already got these. Like Dunn King, I was supposed to talk about this today. Dunn King, he got this fight. They're supposed to have 3 days of fights. I think it's gonna be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, as far as I know. And I guess they're gonna have the public workouts that Wednesday. But Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they're gonna have the fight events, and they were gonna have Jarrell Miller versus Michael Hunter, which actually was supposed to be Jaron Anderson versus Jarrell Miller, but I think Top Rank doesn't really want to make that situation happen. Jaron Anderson was like, "Cool, he'll fight Jarrell Miller. He's not really tripping." But Bob already did the McCauley fight with Jaron Anderson. He's not really trying to make that. He's not trying to do that right now, allegedly. I don't think Bob trying to make that happen right now with Jaron Anderson. He was already kind of upset after the last fight with McCauley and Anderson. You know, he already got plans for him, so probably just don't feel like it's probably feel like it's too early to step in with Jarrell Miller right now. Yeah, he look bad, man. He gotta get in there with some guys who are a lot bigger. He don't got a lot of experience fighting big guys. I think that was the biggest problem for him. He was fighting those guys like they was 220, like they was Wilder size. But Coley's like 300 pounds almost. And he was just standing in front of him. But when you seen F.L. Jogba, he was moving around, boxing well. He knew Bacoli had that power. Yeah, Don King still around. He had I don't know what's his situation with Adrian Bronner, but for him to step in and stop this fight, man, you could have had been making some fights for Bronner or something. But he stepped in trying to stop this fight with Michael Hunter and Jarrell Miller. It's bad too because the fight is in 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. Then you got Bob, not Bob, but yeah, you got Bob stepping in with Jaron Anderson allegedly. Then you got Don King with Michael Hunter situation, talking about Michael Hunter supposed to fight Pulev. And this was going to be the headline. This was going to be the main event fight Thursday before Terence Crawford fights Canelo. They were going to have a whole fight card on Thursday, a whole fight card on Friday. Then when Saturday comes, that's when Terence Crawford and Canelo was going to have their own card. So it was going to be a whole card for Thursday and Friday. And Jarrell Miller was supposed to fight Jaron Anderson and then Michael Hunter. And now he got no opponent. He doesn't have anybody right now from heavyweight. Right now, as far as we know, we need somebody big enough that can headline. Michael Hunter was still a big enough name because he's had some tough fights with guys like Bacoli. He beat Bacoli and fought Usyk. But anybody else, that's not gonna be. It has to be on that level or higher. It's not that many guys up there that has skill like Jerry Anderson or Michael Hunter, so it's gonna be hard to replace him. They're not gonna put a Richard Torres in there. I know Bob not gonna do that. Bob definitely not sticking Richard Torres in the ring. Yeah, but Don King almost 100 years old, man. He up there with Bob. Him and Bob around the same age. And then they have this fight they just announced with Jaron Ennis in Philadelphia. They're gonna officially have this fight with him and the guy Lima. A lot of people are upset about that fight, but they're gonna end up having it. A lot of people don't want to see this fight. They feel like it's a waste of time. I mean, he'll fight Virgil, I guess, uh, after this next fight. So the pressure gonna be on regardless, no matter who he fights. We got it's enough guys at 54 where you gonna figure out what's going on. They said it's chess, not checkers. So we'll see. I think we have enough fights coming up in boxing, big fights to where I still want to see it, but I'm not putting too much pressure on it right now. Honestly, that fight's been talked about for a long time, and it's always been something. I guess they looking for the right moment because one side is ready, then the other side not ready. So whenever they get ready, that should that fight should happen. But they saying early next year, mid next year, probably what mid 2026. But yeah, I don't know too much about this Lima guy though. Probably be another showcase fight. Who knows how many times Ennis will fight in Philadelphia in the future? So maybe he's just getting some fights in and warming up to the fan base. They ain't had a lot of fights in the last few years in Philadelphia. So a lot of guys haven't been fighting out there in big fights. So I guess he's just taking advantage of opportunity he has right now and using the time he has to get these big fights a headline because after this, he's not gonna have any chance if he's fighting on Riyadh season cards with big fights that a lot of fans want to put him in. So I guess it's like one more homecoming fight. They could have just said that. That would have been easier. I'm just trying to have another homecoming fight. Yeah, that would have been easier to say. But yeah, that's definitely what it is though. It's a homecoming fight, and I don't know. Maybe the opponent shows up. Hopefully, it does. We get surprised a lot of times. A lot of times in boxing, we do get surprised because the guy Hitchens fought Lemos. He became a fan favorite to a lot of people. But this dude Lima, one thing I do know about him is he's been in the ring with some guys, a couple of guys, like the guy McKenna who beat up Liam Smith. That's the only guy who beat him. And that guy McKenna's good too. That dude McKenna a beast. Yeah, he's a problem. But that's the only guy he lost to. So he really doesn't have a bad loss. Yeah, that's not a bad loss though. Yeah, they say he won a couple of rounds on a fight card. A couple of judges gave one judge gave the guy Lehman what 3 rounds against McKenna. So yeah, he did all right. 10 round fight. It should be competitive at he basically was a 160 or fighting a 160. He ranked number 9, so we'll see. It's not a high level fighter, but he is ranked top 10, I guess so. Oh yeah, Dunn been in the game a minute, man. He been doing a lot of fights. Yeah, he still been doing some recently. You don't see him all the time, but he been trying to get back in the sport, but he's just sick right now. But yeah, I guess he's not involved in the fight. He said they went around him without. He feel like they went around him without doing the fight through him, so he canceled the fight, man. Done like I ain't playing them games. I don't care who it is. But that's been the problem over the years, though. It's been a lot of times people haven't been saying it, but it's been a lot of times where guys will try to make a big fight outside of one of these little companies, like whatever big boxing companies or promotional teams they got, and they end up overpaying some guy, and he pull out the fight, or they'll pull out a contract, and say you still sign with me, or I got a contract with this fighter. They do that all the time. That's why a lot of these fights be getting canceled. The ones that don't be on primetime TV. Some of these smaller fights that got big names. These promoters be stepping in too many times. They be stopping a lot of big fights. More than the fighters do. Because if a guy signed with them and he's about to fight, they step right in. They don't wait around and figure out what's going on. I don't think that's a good thing, but it happens though. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody for hanging in the stream, man, with me, man. I'm gonna check out, man. I'm gonna holler at you guys later on. Shout out to Wild Man and Dark Ken. I ain't never seen Dark Ken in here. Appreciate you for coming through, dog. But I'm gonna holler at you guys later on, man. Appreciate y'all for following through.